Okay, so this will be another video lecture. I guess I'm committed on making all of the Unit 4 um, video lectures so that we can have time pa to discuss Unit 3 and in order for us to meet yung ano natin, dates natin for midterms which is on October 1 to 3. So I need to fast track lahat ng mga to. So kailangan na gawing video lecture lahat. Okay? So this will be on the topic of digestion, absorption, and metabolism of nutrients. When it comes to the digestion, absorption, and metabolism of nutrients, it can be quite complicated kasi ang daming process, especially when it comes to metabolism, ang daming process na kailangang i-memorize actually. Ang dami nung kailangan na process flow, ang dami yung kailangan na enzymes na kailangan na i-memorize in order for us to understand. So basically, we need a solid foundation when it comes to biology so that we can understand yung mga process na yon, especially sa metabolism as well as on digestion and absorption. But since this is more on the introduction lang, when it comes to the digestion, absorption, and metabolism of nutrients, I will make the discussion um, simple enough that you first year can understand. I hope can understand yung concept. Pero I also need to discuss yung mga concepts, principles when it comes to digestion, absorption, and metabolism ng mga different nutrients natin. Okay? So, yung mga previous video lectures ko, I've discussed what is the definition ng digestion, ng absorption, and metabolism, as well as I have discussed about the different or the 6 nutrients natin. So, yan. Ano kasi, pag kumain yung isang animal, hindi naman basta-basta makukuha ng animal yung nutrients. Okay? Kaya nga merong nutrition na tinatawag which is the process of digestion, absorption, and metabolism ng mga nutrients natin. Kaya nga merong nutrition na tinatawag para maintindihan kung paano ba ginagawa ng body, ano ba yung nasa physiology ng animal para magawa itong mga processes na ito. Okay? So, and then when it comes to the nutrients, iba-iba kasi. Iba-iba yung pag-digest natin ng carbohydrate, iba yung pag-digest ng mga animals sa protein, sa ruminant, sa non-ruminant, iba yung pag-digest nila sa carbohydrate, sa protein, ng fats. So, yun yung madi-discuss with this video lecture. Okay? So, first will be on digestion. Ngayon sa digestion, specifically sa mga non-ruminants natin. Like for example, yung pigs, sinama ko na rin yung poultry dito. Ang digestion ng carbohydrates will start in the mouth. Laging tatandaan yan. Bakit sa mouth? Bakit hindi sa stomach? Sa mouth kasi, meron tayong tinatawag na salivary amylase. Okay? Especially sa pigs, pero wala sa poultry. Ngayon, yung salivary amylase na yan, ano nga ba yan? Laging tatandaan when a substance or a molecule, kumbaga, ends with an ASE, usually that is an enzyme. Okay? Amylase, fructase, urease, mga ganun. Basta merong ASE sa huli, that's basically an enzyme. So, meaning, itong salivary amylase natin, itong nandito, this is the structure of the salivary amylase, that is an enzyme. Okay? Ngayon, yung enzyme na yon, siya yung mag-breakdown initially. Pag sinabing initially, siya yung parang mag-start na mag-digest ng carbohydrate. Laging tatandaan yan sa mouth, especially sa pigs. Then, susunod, when it comes to the digestive tract, pupunta yan sa stomach. Little to no digestion yung magaganap sa stomach, pero sa small intestine, merong masisikret na pancreatic amylase ulit. So meaning, it ends with ASE, so that is also an enzyme. Anong gagawin ng pancreatic amylase? It will break down starch into maltose, then maltase, sucrase, and yung lactase, all are enzymes. Again, kung titignan yung pattern, ASE. Meron silang ASE lahat. Those are enzymes will break down yung mga disaccharides into simple sugar. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Ang gagawin ng mga binanggit ko na enzymes, basically, ito yung isang carbohydrate na large molecule na starch, gagawin nilang maliit. Mas simpler. Ganyan lang. Okay? Bakit? Kasi kailangan for digestion. Okay? So yan. Laging tatandaan sa non-ruminant, it will start in the mouth, pero most of the digestion will occur in the small intestine. Laging tatandaan yan. Ngayon, ito yung parang breakdown or table ng mga different na enzymes natin and kung saan sila nasi-secrete, ano yung substrate na panggagamitan or tinitira ng mga enzymes natin, and ano yung end product. Okay, so I suggest that you memorize yung mga to. Okay? Like for example, yung pancreatic amylase natin, syempre pancreatic, so galing yan sa pancreas. Ngayon, yung pancreatic amylase natin, ano yung inaakapan? Ano yung i-breakdown? Basically, itong mga starch and glycogen natin. Okay? Pag na-breakdown na itong starch and glycogen natin, magiging maltose yan. Okay? So, makikita yung flow. Sa enzyme na pancreatic amylase na galing sa pancreas, i-break down yung starch and glycogen. Ngayon, yung starch and glycogen, magiging maltose yan. Hindi magiging maltose yung starch and glycogen without itong amylase, itong pancreatic amylase. Laging tatandaan yan. Okay? Then, next will be the maltase. So, saan galing? Sa small intestine. Ano yung breakdown? Maltose. So, pag na-breakdown yung maltose, magiging dalawang glucose molecule. Okay? So, yan yung end product. So, makikita yung flow. Maltase, it will break down maltose, and then it will result to 2 glucose molecule. So, ganun yung pagbasa sa table na ito. Then, you can also do this with the other three, the rest of the three enzymes natin. Sucrase, bine-break down yung sucrose para maging glucose and fructose. Okay? Then, lactase, bine-break down yung lactose para maging glucose and galactose. And then, yung isomaltase, bine-break down yung isomaltose para maging glucose molecule. Okay? So, kung makikita, most of that end products are glucose. Laging tatandaan yan. Glucose, yung readily absorbable na form of carbohydrates na available, na ina-absorb, kumbaga, ng mga animals natin. Okay, so yan yung table. So please memorize so that you will have an idea kung ano yung mga enzymes. Ngayon, iba naman. Iba sa ruminants. Siyempre, magkaiba sila ng digestive structure. So, magkaiba din yung kanilang digestion ng carbohydrates. So sa mga ruminants, like for example yung mga cattle and goats natin, walang salivary amylase. So the digestion of carbohydrate will not start in the mouth. Pero instead, it will start doon sa rumen natin. Laging tatandaan, importante talaga itong rumen na to when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to the digestion, as well as absorption ng mga um, nutrients natin for the ruminants natin. Okay? So, ngayon, alam natin na si ruminant, kumakain yan ng mga fibrous material, mga grasses. Okay? Ngayon, yung grasses na yon, through rumination, it will end up in the rumen natin. So, anong gagawin sa rumen? Again, it will be fermented. Fermented. Microbial fermentation na tinatawag. Okay, itong microbial fermentation na tinatawag. So meaning, yung feed na kinain, yan, yung araw na to, syempre yung feed, merong carbohydrates, merong protein. Through microbial fermentation, bakit microbial fermentation? Laging tatandaan, yung diniscuss ko noon, yung rumen, madaming microbes yan. Madaming microbes si rumen, you have bacteria, protozoa, fungi, lahat na sila yung mag-ferment. Ngayon, it will, through microbial fermentation, it will produce itong propionate acetate butyrate. Ano itong mga propionate acetate butyrate na ito? Ito yung mga tinatawag na volatile fatty acids. Laging tatandaan yan. So, yung kinain na feed na merong carbohydrate, it will be fermented by doon sa rumen to create volatile fatty acid. Ano yung mga volatile fatty acids? Ito yung mga acetate, propionate, and butyrate. Laging tatandaan. And then, gases. So yan. Through byproduct, through methanogenesis, makaka-create ka ng CH4 or methane, tapos nilalabas yan through eructation. Eructation is basically agtigab, belching na tinatawag. Okay? Then, starch and sugars are also fermented, but more rapidly. So, yan. Kaya, pag masyadong madami yung kinakain na highly digestible sugar or carbohydrates, masama din sa ruminant. Okay? Pero again, yan. Laging tatandaan, carbohydrate digestion will start in the rumen when it comes to ruminants natin. So, yan yung parang flow or parang breakdown ng rumen fermentation. So, yung glucose na-digest nila through glycolysis, hindi natin di-discuss yung glycolysis. Through glycolysis, makaka-create ka ng pyruvate. Ano yung pyruvate? Siya yung medium or yun yung ginagamit sa rumen fermentation para maka-create ng acetic, propionic, and butyric acid. Ano na naman to? Basically, same lang sila. Sila yung volatile fatty acid. Okay, laging tatandaan ito. Volatile fatty acid. Basta laging tatandaan yung end product ng rumen fermentation or microbial fermentation na tinatawag is volatile fatty acid. Laging tatandaan yan. Okay, so that's basically carbohydrate digestion sa ruminant. And then, baka tanungin, paano naman sa small intestine? Sa non-ruminant, sa small intestine yung carbohydrate digestion. Little to no. Little to no carbohydrate digestion yung nangyayari sa small intestine ng mga ruminants natin. Most of the carbohydrate digestion nangyayari yan sa rumen. Okay? Okay, so that's basically the digestion. It is just a simple overview kung ano yung digestion ng carbohydrates sa ruminant and non-ruminant. Then we go sa absorptions. Siyempre na-digest na yan. So meaning they produce products that are absorbable na. Okay? So sa non-ruminants, yung glucose, fructose, galactose, and any other monosaccharides, By the way, monosaccharides is a form of carbohydrates, the simplest form of carbohydrates natin, are absorbed in the small intestine via active transport into the blood. Mamaya makikita yung active transport. Pero yan, sa non-ruminants, na-absorb yung mga glucose, fructose, and galactose through active transport. Laging tatandaan, active transport. Now, for ruminants naman, syempre, yung sinabi ko kanina, ang end product ng carbohydrate digestion is volatile fatty acid. So, they are absorbed directly through the rumen wall. So, yan. Rumen wall naman, hindi na siya pupunta sa most of the VFAs. Hindi na pupunta sa small intestine. Lahat yan ma-absorb sa rumen wall. Okay? Sa rumen wall. So, ano yung laging tatandaan? For non-ruminant, na-absorb yung products ng carbohydrate digestion sa small intestine. Sa ruminant, na-absorb yung product ng carbohydrate digestion sa rumen. Sa rumen wall. Okay? So, laging tatandaan yan. Ngayon, ito yung sinasabi ko na passive active transport, and then titignan natin yung passive transport na tinatawag. Pag sinabing active transport, merong energy. Itong ATP, ito yung energy. Basically, kailangan ng energy para yung mga glucose, galactose na product ng digestion, pupunta yan sa bloodstream. Okay? So, kailangan ng energy. And then, merong specific lang na parang gate, kumbaga, na pwede pumasok yung mga molecule. Yun. And then, when it comes to passive transport, hindi na kailangan ng energy. Pupunta lang sila from the low concentration gradient. Again, recall your principle of diffusion sa high school, from high concentration gradient to lower concentration. Ganon yung diffusion na tinatawag. Dito, meron lang silang specific na pagpasukan na gate, kumbaga. Wala ng energy. So, yun lang yung pagkakaiba. Pag sinabing active transport, kailangan ng energy to absorb. Pag sinabing passive transport, hindi na kailangan. Yun lang yung laging tatandaan. Okay? So, yan. Ngayon, when it comes to carbohydrate metabolism, medyo dito na nagiging complicated, kumbaga, yung discussion. So, I will try my best to parang simplify it enough na ma-understand pa rin. Okay? Ngayon, laging tatandaan yung sinabi ko kanina, yung most of the end product is glucose. Saan galing yung glucose? Galing yan sa carbohydrate natin. Okay? So, glucose actually is the main fuel. Pupunta yan sa what we call as glycolysis process. Ano yung glycolysis process? This is where a metabolism process wherein itong glucose nagiging pyruvate. Yun yung laging tatandaan lang. Yung metabolism, yung glucose nagiging pyruvate. And then yung pyruvate na yun, it will go sa Krebs cycle, and then eventually it will create energy or ATP. So basically that's for glucose metabolism through glycolysis. Pag sa BFA naman, yung BFA for ruminant, merong magkakaiwalay na process doon sa mga tatlong volatile fatty acids natin. So, acetate, propionate, butyrate, magkakaiba yung pupuntahan. Anyway, mamaya. And then, kung merong excess glucose naman na i-store as glycogen. Laging tatandaan when it comes to form ng carbohydrate na nai-store sa mga animals natin, it is glycogen. Okay? So ito yung process actually. Ito yung process when it comes to carbohydrate metabolism. Yung sinabi ko kanina na volatile fatty acid, itong acetic acid, propionic acid, and butyric acid, ito yung mga process nila. Yung acetic pupunta sa fatty acid synthesis, yung propionic pupunta sa glucose generation, and then yung butyric, ketogenesis. Hindi natin i-discuss since this is only an introduction to animal nutrition. And then for the glucose, itong glucose na ito, laging tatandaan lang, it will undergo a lot of these processes, pero eventually, it will produce pyruvate, or the end product of the glycolysis is pyruvate. So yan, yan lang yung laging tatandaan when it comes to carbohydrate metabolism. Okay, so that's basically on carbohydrate digestion. So now we go sa protein digestion. So sa protein digestion, yung laging tatandaan when it comes to protein, it is a complex structure. So kung makikita dito sa picture na to, ito, quaternary structure. Ganito yung yung usual na structure ng isang protein. And yung task ngayon ng animal, yung process is to basically break down itong complex structure na ito into a more simpler structure para ma-absorb. Yun yung Basically, I've defined kung ano yung digestion, pero dito sa protein talagang makikita na complicated. Complicated yung protein, yung structure niya. So, kailangan talaga na i-digest ng maayos, kumbaga. So, ngayon, again, magkaiba ulit yung digestion ng isang protein for non-ruminant at saka ruminant. Magkaiba ulit. Again, because of the difference when it comes to the physiological structure ng digestive system nila, magkaiba din yung um, digestion. Okay? For sa non-ruminant, hindi tulad nung sa carbohydrate that it will start its digestion initially on the mouth. For protein, it will start sa stomach. Laging tatandaan yan. So, protein digestion, it will start sa stomach. So, it will have what we call as hydrochloric acid. So, yan yung nasa stomach nating lahat. So, yung abomasum, yung proventriculus, they are called through stomach because they are considered glandular organs na nagsisecrete ng hydrochloric acid. That is why they are considered the true stomach. Ganon din yung sa atin. Anyway, yung hydrochloric acid na yan, it will denature yung protein. Basically, meron tayong tinatawag kasi na pepsinogen doon sa stomach. Ngayon, ginigising ni HCl yung pepsinogen na sabihin, oy, gising ka, and then pag nagising na yung pepsinogen, nagiging pepsin yan. So yung pepsin na yan, anong gagawin? Anong gagawin ng pepsin? It will break down yung peptides. So kung matatandaan sa discussion ko when it comes to the protein, yung structure kasi ng protein parang ganito. Yan. Ganyan yung structure ng isang protein. Okay? So you have itong mga bilog-bilog na to, ito yung mga amino acids. So yan. Yan at saka yan. Those are your amino acids. And yung yung linya na to, that's what we call as peptide bonds. Okay? So, ang purpose ngayon ni pepsin is sirain. Sirain itong peptide bonds. Bakit? Kasi pag ganito yung itsura ng protein, ganito, na merong peptide bonds pa rin, mahirap i-absorb yan or impossible na i-absorb yan kasi nga nagiging complicated na yung structure. So, kailangan na i-breakdown niya yung peptide bonds in order to free up itong mga amino acids. Itong mga natin, mga bilog-bilog natin. So, yun yung purpose ni pepsin na. Hindi lahat actually is na-breakdown ni pepsin. Hindi lahat ng mga peptide bonds, kumbaga, pag breakdown na ni pepsin, meron pang natitirang mga proteins that are complicated na kailangan pang i-break down yung peptide bond. So, dyan papasok si small intestine. Ngayon sa small intestine naman, meron tayong mga pancreatic enzymes ulit. Okay? So, saan galing yung pancreatic enzymes na to? Siyempre sa pancreas. Anong gagawin sa pancreas? Ia-absorb yan or isisikret yan papunta dun sa small intestine. Okay? Ano yung mga enzymes na yon? Ito yung mga yan. Trypsin, chymotrypsin, peptidases. Okay? Yan yung mga enzymes na yan. So, anong gagawin ng mga enzymes na yan? Ganun din. Same purpose lang sila, same function lang sila ni pepsin. They will break down yung peptide bonds para ma-free up yung amino acids. Okay? So, yun yung digestion sa non-ruminants. Okay, so I have a diagram here showing yung parang process ng pag-breakdown. So kung makikita, itong nasa taas na protein, ang daming peptide bonds, ang daming amino acid. So kung ganito, large molecule na to large molecule na to, hindi na yan pwede or impossible na ma-absorb. Kumbaga nung small intestine itong ganito kalaki na ganito ka-complicated na structure. So, ang gagawin ngayon ni pepsin, yan, si pepsin, i-break down yung peptide bonds into a much simpler substance. Ganyan. So, pag ganito na, tinawag yan polypeptides na kasi mas maliit na. And then, basically, yung pepsin pala, and then yung trypsin naman, yung gagawin, i-break down ulit. Okay? To a more a simpler molecule, and then eventually, ma-free up na yung mga amino acids. Kung makikita dun sa last, wala nang mga linya-linya, wala nang mga bonds na breakdown na lahat. So, individual amino acid na lang to. So, yan na yung i-absorb ni body ng animal. Okay, so that's basically a simple overview when it comes to the digestion ng protein. So, laging tatandaan lang sa stomach, you have your pepsin that will break down the peptide bonds. Sa small intestine, you have the pepsin, you have the trypsin, chymotrypsin, peptidases na galing sa pancreas na nasikret sa small intestine that will further break down the peptide bonds in between the amino acids in order to free up the amino acid for absorption. Okay, yun yung laging tatandaan sa protein digestion ng ruminants. Ngayon, sa protein digestion naman ng ruminants, yun pala non-ruminants, okay? Sa protein digestion naman ng ruminants natin, dito ulit papasok si rumen. So, sinasabi ko ulit na talagang important, very important si rumen when it comes to digestion. Hindi lang sa carbohydrate, pati na rin sa protein. Again, because of the unique structure ng rumen that houses a lot of these microbes, bacteria, protozoa, mga ganun, they can degrade yung mga protein. Degrade basically digest. Yan, para hindi malito. They can digest yung mga protein na yan into amino acids and ammonia. Okay? So, bakit i-emphasize ko tong ammonia? Yung ammonia kasi, ginagamit yan ng microbes actually. Okay? Ginagamit yan ng microbes to plus the energy coming from the carbohydrates na kinain nila to produce or synthesize what we call as microbial protein. Okay? So, meaning, ang kinain, most ng kinain ng ruminant na feed na merong protein, nako-convert yan into microbial protein. Pero hindi lahat. Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na rumen degradable protein, rumen undegradable protein. Basically, yung mga undegradable, sila yung hindi nako-convert to microbial protein. Pero most, laging tatandaan to, most ng mga kinakain na grasses, na mga feedstuff ni ruminant, yung protein doon, nade-degrade, nadadigest, kumbaga, ng mga microbes to create microbial protein. Ngayon, bakit ko ina-emphasize ulit yung microbial protein? Yung microbial protein kasi, yung pupunta sa abomasum and then eventually into the small intestine. Okay? So meaning, yung protein na kinain na convert into microbial protein, ngayon yung microbial protein na yun yung um, ida-digest na. Parehas lang sila ng digestion process na with that of the non-ruminant. Ang pagkakaiba lang, si ruminant, kinain yung protein, dinigest, dinegrade sa rumen, dinigest sa rumen, kinonvert into microbial protein. Okay, yun yung pagkakaiba. For non-ruminant, wala naman kasing rumen. So diretso na sa small intestine, sa stomach tapos sa small intestine. Dito, pupunta muna sa rumen and then doon sa abomasum and small intestine. Nako-convert yan into microbial protein. Ngayon, ano yung is it advantageous or is it a disadvantage for the ruminant na yung kinakain is nako-convert into microbial protein? It depends. Okay? It depends on the quality of the protein na in-ingest ng animal. Pag high quality yan na protein, you want it not to be degraded into microbial protein. So you want it to pass through the rumen undegraded, meaning talagang high quality protein pa rin siya para ma-absorb lahat, ma-take advantage lahat ni ruminant yung high quality protein na yon. Yung problema, pag yung high quality protein na yon na-degrade doon sa rumen and then na-convert into microbial protein, sayang na. Okay, sayang na kasi high quality protein into microbial protein, lower na yung quality. So, basically hindi na siya um, ganun kataas yung quality. Okay? Yun yung disadvantage and advantage. Pag kumain yung ruminant ng low quality protein, basically nako-convert yan into a much higher quality na microbial protein. So yun yung advantage naman when it comes to digestion ng mga microbial ng protein natin. It can be an advantage and it can be a disadvantage depending on the quality of ingestion ng protein. Okay, so yan yung sa ano natin. Protein digestion. So this is a diagram showing yung protein digestion ng mga ano natin sa rumen basically. So kung makikita, ito yung microbial protein. Okay? Ito yung microbial protein. Anong tawag nito? Dumadaan pa rin siya. Okay? Meron din pa ring enzymes sa rumen. Saan galing yung enzyme? Galing yan sa mga microbes, okay? Sila yung nagsisecrete. So, meron pa ring mga enzymes that will break down, okay? Ito pala is sa bacterial cell. Yan. Okay? So, basta laging tatandaan yung end product will be the microbial protein. Okay? Yan yung importante. Nako-convert yan into microbial protein. Ngayon, when it comes to the absorption ng protein, mainly in the small intestine na yan. Okay? Lahat na, both for ruminant and non-ruminant, most of the absorption will be at the small intestine. So, ano yung na-absorb? Amino acids na. Okay? Bakit amino acids? Kasi nga yun yung na-breakdown ng mga enzymes sa protein. Okay? So, yan. So, ruminants absorb amino acid both from digested feed proteins that escape rumen breakdown. Ito yung sinasabi ko na rumen undegradable protein or tinatawag na bypass protein and microbial protein. So meaning si ruminant pwede niyang i-absorb yung bypass protein as well as yung microbial protein. So it depends on the type of protein. Again, it depends on the type of protein na inaabsorb no or dinadigest nung animal or ini-ingest ng animal. Kung bypass protein yan, usually when it comes to bypass protein, this is high quality protein. And then yung mga microbial protein, these are low quality proteins that are basically converted into microbial protein. So, yan yung sa absorption. So, paano yung absorption? Same lang ng carbohydrates. They are absorbed usually through active transport. Active transport. In-explain ko na rin naman kung ano yung active transport. So, ganun din yung mangyayari dito. Okay? Sa protein absorption. Again, laging tatandaan, protein absorption for both ruminant and non-ruminant is sa small intestine. Then, kung makikita, ito yung absorption. Diagram lang ng absorption. Meron na rin naman kanina, pero ganito din. So, let's focus doon sa protein. Active transport pa rin. Yan yung amino acid. So, meron lang siyang dapat puntahan na gate kung saan doon siya pupunta. And then, eventually, it will go to the hepatic portal or sa bloodstream. Yun lang. Yun yung basic na discussion when it comes to absorption ng proteins. When it comes to the metabolism process ng protein, amino acids used to build body proteins, like for example um, sa muscles natin, kailangan din yan sa enzymes, hormones, and antibodies. So, when amino acids are in excess, may process na tinatawag na deamination. Yan, deamination. Ano yung deamination? Removal of the nitrogen group. So, basically, yung ano kasi, amino acids, meron kang two parts. Hindi ganito yung exact na ano, pero sabihin na lang natin ganito. Meron kang two parts na ganyan. Okay? Square at saka circle na lang. So, yung circle actually is the carbon skeleton. Ito yung carbon skeleton natin. Okay? Yung square is your carbon skeleton. And then, sabihin na lang natin itong circle will be the nitrogen. Itong nitrogen group natin. Okay? So, yung ginagawa ng deamination process, pinaghihiwalay. Yun lang yung laging tatandaan when it comes to deamination process. Hinihiwalay yung nitrogen group to that of the carbon skeleton. Ngayon, pag ganun, meron ka ng dalawang product. You have your carbon skeleton and then the nitrogen. Yung carbon skeleton na yon, nako-convert yan through energy, basically on the Krebs cycle. Okay? Krebs cycle is a process again of metabolism. Basta nako-convert yan sa energy. Yung nitrogen na nahiwalay, it will be converted into urea through the another metabolism process, urea recycling na tinatawag. Or pwede rin na na-convert yan into uric acid. Okay? Laging tandaan yung urea na yan. Pag in excess kasi yung na-excrete naman sa urine. Pero some of it will be converted into energy through yung urea recycling na tinatawag. For birds, usually it will be converted into uric acid. So, yan. For mammals, na yung process ng urea recycling, yung ang ginagawa. Okay? Then, some amino acids also serves as a precursors for neurotransmitters, hormones, and other compounds. Basically, when it comes to nitrogen, yung metabolism process is urea recycling. Okay? Or sa protein, urea recycling. So, yan. And then yung deamination process. So, ganyan, yung itsura. Ayan pala, nandiyan pala yung structure ng nitrogen natin. You have your yung amine group, your carbon skeleton, your nitrogen group ito, yung amine. Then you have your carbon skeleton. So, kung makikita sa carbon skeleton natin, meron yung locus, acetyl-CoA, mga ganyan. eventually, it will all lead to the production ng ATP or energy natin. Okay? Then, for the amine group or your nitrogen group, yan, pwede ma-convert into ammonia and then it will be converted into urea. So, yan. Yan yung protein natin. Now, we go sa fats or what we call as lipids. So, sa fats or lipids naman, digestion minimal, digestion in the stomach, pero sa small intestine, specifically, this is for non-ruminant. Sa small intestine, meron tayong bile kasi. Ano yung bile? Bile basically comes from the liver, stored in the gallbladder. Laging tatandaan. Again, from the liver, si liver yung nagpo-produce ng bile, nai-store yan sa gallbladder. And then, ginagamit ni small intestine. Okay, so, laging tatandaan yan, baka malito. Again, liver yung nagpo-produce, ini-store ni gallbladder, ginagamit ni small intestine. So, um, anong tawag nito? Ano yung purpose nitong bile? Bakit kailangan for fat digestion, lipid digestion? Sa ano naman, sa carbohydrates and proteins, hindi naman kailangan itong bile na to. Yung fat kasi, laging tatandaan, ano yan, um, allergic yan, kumbaga, sa tubig. So, hindi madaling i-digest si fat. Hindi comparing it to the digestion ng carbohydrates and proteins that is direct to the point. When it comes to lipids, since this is hydrophobic or ayaw niya sa tubig, mahirap i-digest. So, ang ginagawa kasi ng bile, it will emulsify yung fat into tiny droplets. Anong ibig sabihin ng emulsify? Mamaya makikita yung picture, pero yan, it will emulsify yung fats in order to produce tiny droplets na pwede ng meron pa rin siyang process na gagawin pero basically it will be absorbable na. Okay? So, aside from that, you have yung pancreatic lipase that will hydrolyzes triglycerides into monoglycerides and free fatty acids. So, anong ibig sabihin niyan? Basically, triglyceride kasi is a fat, is a lipid. Pero again, tulad nung sa digestion ng tulad sa protein and carbohydrate, medyo malaki to. Okay, hindi siya absorbable form. So yung lipase na yan, laging tatandaan ulit, merong ulit ASE. Enzyme ulit yan. Okay? So si lipase na yan, i-breakdown, hydrolysis basically breakdown digested, mga ganun. So, dinadigest ulit, bine-breakdown ulit yung triglyceride into monoglycerides and free fatty acids. Si monoglycerides and free fatty acids, basically, this is your absorbable form na. Pero kailangan pa rin siyang meron pa rin siyang parang process na gagawin para ma-absorb. Okay? Pero yan na yung pwedeng i-absorb, kumbaga, ng isang um, ng animal. So, from triglyceride na complicated yung structure na absorb yan into monoglyceride and then free fatty acid. So, ganyan yung emulsification process na tinatawag. So, ito, large fat droplets na ganito, yan, through emulsification, via or with the use of the bile natin, na-break down yung large fat droplets into smaller fat droplets. Ganyan na. Okay? So, makikita yung green na yan, naka-attach na dun sa fat droplet. So, by attaching to it, na co-convert or na transform itong large fat droplets into smaller fat droplets. And then, at pag na-emulsify pa yan, nagiging smaller pa yung droplets na yan. Okay? So, that's basically the process of emulsification na tinatawag. Again, it is an overview. simple lang na discussion when it comes to emulsification. Okay? Then, absorption ng fats, fatty acids, and monoglyceryls form micelles. Yan. Okay? So, yung pinakita ko kanina na ganito, bilog-bilog, small fat droplets na merong naka-attach na um, bile, that's basically what we call as micelles. Tiny fat droplets surrounded by bile salts. Okay? Micelles yung tawag doon. Ngayon, yung micelles na yan yung pwedeng mag-enter doon sa intestinal cells. Or, yan yung pwedeng i-absorb ng animal. Yun lang. Okay? Yun yung micelle yung kailangan. Ngayon, inside the cell, they are reassembled into triglyceride, packaged into chylomicrons, and then transported via lymph or portal blood to tissues. So, pwedeng i-transport yan via lymph sa non-ruminants or portal blood or diretso sa um, circulatory system through papunta sa tissue for ruminants. Okay? Ano yung chylomicrons again? Itong ano na to, tiny fat droplets na to, syempre madami sila. Madaming tiny fat droplets na ganyan. Okay? Ngayon, pag na-absorb na siya doon sa ano, uh, na-absorb na doon sa cell, nire-repackage. Kumbaga, kino-convert ulit to malaki na ganito. Okay? Nire-repackage ulit. That's your chylomicrons. Okay? Package into chylomicrons. So, it will be reassembled into triglyceride and then package into chylomicrons. And then, yung chylomicrons na yan na yung pwedeng pumunta sa mga tissues. Okay? So, yan yung absorption process. So, kung titignan, ganito, yung digestion and absorption ng ano. So, from the triglyceride, yan yung triglyceride natin, via yung lipase na sinikret ni pancreas, nagpo-form yan ng micelle. Okay? Nagpo-form yan ng micelle. And then, yung micelle na yan yung naa-absorb dito. Okay? Naa-absorb. And then, after absorption, it will be repackaged into chylomicrons. Okay? Ganito ulit yung mangyayari. It will be repackaged into chylomicrons and then it will go to the lymph nodes and then the portal vein or portal um, blood portal. Okay? So yan yung ano, digestion and absorption ng fats. And then when it comes to the metabolism process, beta oxidation. Okay? Ano yung beta oxidation? Yung mga na-absorb na fatty acids or fats, it will undergo beta oxidation producing acetyl-CoA. Yung acetyl-CoA kasi yan yung kailangan for Krebs cycle para makaproduce ng ATP. Okay? Yan yung metabolism. So, ang laging tatandaan lang, it will undergo beta oxidation and then sa beta oxidation, mako-convert yung fatty acid into acetyl-CoA, pupunta yung acetyl-CoA into the Krebs cycle and then eventually for energy production or ATP production. So, ano yan? Since it is fat ito, it can be stored sa body when energy is abundant. Pag hindi masyadong kailangan ng body ng animal na energy, nai-store naman. Kasi nga fat. So, nai-store yan um, sa body ng animal. Okay? And then, ginagamit yan comes the time na walang masyadong energy, walang masyadong glucose molecule, kumbaga, walang masyadong kinain na carbohydrate. Diyan napapasok na si fat pupunta sa beta oxidation para makaproduce ng energy. Okay? Then, essential fatty acids, laging tatandaan itong tatlo na to, linoleic, linolenic, and arachidonic are used in cell membranes and hormone-like substances. So, sila yung ginagamit. And then, fat also is important for milk fat synthesis in lactating animals. Then, ito yung process ng beta oxidation. Ito yun. Okay? So, we will not discuss further into that. Basta laging tatandaan, um, fatty acid, and then yung end product will be acetyl-CoA na yun yung pupunta sa um, Krebs cycle para makaproduce ng ATP. Then for vitamins, wala nang digestion kasi ang mga maliliit na molecules na rin naman to, and it is only needed by the animal in little amount. So it requires little or no digestion but must be released from feed particles. So yung absorption naman, meron tayong dalawa kasi. Okay? Yung diniscuss ko noon when it comes to vitamins, we have fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins. So when it comes to fat-soluble vitamins, absorbed with fats into the small intestine, kaya requires siya ng bile. Okay? It requires bile for uh, it to be absorbed properly. So, stored in the liver and fat tissues. So, laging tatandaan yung fat-soluble vitamins natin, A, D, E, at saka K. Then, we have water-soluble vitamins. Ito yung mga B complex natin, vitamin B complex natin, B1, B2, B3, B4, hanggang B12. And then, also included din dyan yung vitamin C natin. So, ito, hindi na kailangan ng bile. Hindi na kailangan na sumama sa fats in order for it to be absorbed. It will be absorbed directly into the blood from the small intestine. And then it is not stored except for vitamin B12 that is stored sa liver. It is not stored, kaya nga yung sinabi ko noon, pag nag-take kayo ng vitamins, B complex, pag umihi kayo, kulay yellow, usually that yellowish, bakit naging yellow? Mas yellow yung mga ihi ninyo because of the vitamins. Okay? So, yan. When it comes to the mineral natin, digestion naman do not need enzymatic digestion. So, but must be released from feed particles by stomach acid. For the absorption, absorb mostly in the small intestine. So, na-absorb yan mostly in the small intestine. Calcium absorbed in the duodenum with the help of vitamin D. Saan yung duodenum again? Yan yung first part ng small intestine natin. Yung iron, it is absorbed as Fe2+, ferrous, and then transported aided by proteins. Then some minerals compete for absorption. Like for example, excess calcium reduces the zinc absorption. So again, it is important that you take the correct amount of minerals. So yeah. And then for water, digestion, wala nang absorption, wala nang digestion needed. Absorption, it is absorbed in the rumen and omasum of ruminants, and then small intestine and large intestine in all animals. Other animals, kumbaga. So, as a summary to all of that, for with all of the complicated process na yon, for carbohydrates, again, it will be broken down or it will be digested to sugar for in the case of mga monogastric animals natin. And then volatile fatty acids in the case of our ruminants. Okay? And then eventually, all of that will be metabolized to create energy. So yan. And then for proteins naman, it will be broken down or it will be digested to amino acids, both for ruminant and non-ruminant, depende na sa form. And then it will eventually be absorbed and then will be utilized for the growth of the muscle, for enzyme production and hormone production. Then for fats natin, it will be broken down into fatty acids or glycerol. And then it will be converted into utilized for energy, for also for the production ng hormones, ganon. Vitamins absorbed intact, used for as coenzymes or as regulators. Minerals absorbed as ions, and then it is used for the structure balance and cofactors sa body natin. water absorbed directly, it is used as solvent, it is used for transportation ng nutrients, for temperature regulation. So, yon yung summary natin when it comes to the digestion, absorption, and metabolism of our nutrients. So with that, that ends the video lecture when it comes to this topic. I hope you you have an idea na on the digestion, absorption, and metabolism. It is a complicated process, pero I hope that I have introduced enough principles, facts, so that you will have an idea. So that when it comes to discussion, a further discussion, a more um, thorough discussion when it comes to this, mas alam na kayo. Okay? So, if you have any question, if you have any uh, if merong part na hindi nyo masyadong naintindihan, then you can freely ask me uh, para sa ganun ma-clear up natin para masagutan ko. And again, please review all of the video lectures that I've done. I think 5 video lectures for this unit. So madami, and I'm sorry if um, yun yung gagawin natin. Yun yung ano natin for our video lectures. Pero again, thank you for listening.